Well, hello mates and welcome to my channel, and today I'm gonna show you how you can send emails in C# using Gmail SMTP servers and with your Gmail account. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe to support me to make more video tutorials. So let's get started. First, what we have today to make is a few tasks. Let's check it out. First, we will be making the user interface, then set up our client, SMTP client in code and message object as well. Then we will be configuring Gmail to accept authentication from our application. After that, we will try to send an email and then update this code to be more responsive and more better to work using async sending. And then we'll be authenticating our app with what's called app passwords. It's something new to Google security things. So let's start by opening our Visual Studio and create our new project. So file new, and I will create it as Windows Form application. Let's call it email sender. Okay, our application is now created. Now let's start with designing the user interface for this application. I will fast this forward to make it more short. So let's start with our design. And now we are finished with the user interface. So we can start with implementing our code. So we're done with this. Now let's handle the close button. It will be simply close the application. So double click, application.exit. Now the main thing is sending email. So let's work on this. So double click. First, we need to declare our SMTP client object. So SMTP client. And to use this class, we need to include the namespace using for system.net.mail. Now we create our object client is equal to new SMTP client. Now we will initialize our client properties. So first thing is user is host. Host defines SMTP server you will be using to send this email, and in our case we'll be using the Gmail SMTP server, which is smtp.gmail.com. We can define port. The port we will be using is 587. We need also to enable SSL on this connection, so set enable SSL to true. Delivery method, we'll set it to network. And we can work on credentials, but before we set our credentials, we need to use default credentials and set it to false. So it won't use defaults. Now with credentials, we set credentials to new. Let's see, I guess it's network credentials. And to use this, we need to include the system.net namespace. This network credentials, we need to set up two properties, which is username and password. And actually, it's your username is your Gmail email address, and password is your account password. And I have created an email for this tutorial, which is sam.demo.mail@gmail. So we'll be using this email today to test this project. So let's set username equal to sam dot demo mail. I guess it's right. Yes, at gmail.com. You have to specify the full email address, not just your email address like sam.demo.mail, but also at gmail.com. Now we set the password. You need to use your email password. So I have simple one, sam 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, for now it's okay for the client. We need to specify the from email and to email, so the receiver and sender. So first we need to define object as mail address. So from email is equal to new mail address. It takes two properties, two arguments, sorry. First is the address and second one is the display name. So our address is sam.demo.mail@gmail.com, and the display name we can set it whatever we want. So sam. To grab our receiver email, we have this text box here in the form, which I name it as email text. So let's grab this mail address to email is equal to new mail address email text dot text. Of course, we need to do validation using regular expressions or whatever you want, but for sake of simplicity, we will skip this, and display name we can just someone. We need to prepare our message object, the real message that our client will send. So we can create a new mail message. Let's call it message is equal to new mail message. And now we need to define from, which is from email. We have prepared here as from email object is equal to from email. Specify the subject or the title. So subject is equal to subject text dot text. This is our text box. That's right here. We also need to define body. Body is the actual message, so we grab it from our text box as well. So message text to text. You can also specify if is body is HTML. If this is true, you can set this property to true. but in our case it's just plain text. Now we need to specify who will receive this email. You can set multiple emails to be sent at once. It's just a collection. So if we look here at message, we can find that to property is actually a mail address collection. So we can add to this collection our to email. Then simply we can just say client.send and send our message, pass our message object as a parameter. But this can cause errors, so we will enclose this in a try catch statement. So try client send message, and if successful, we can just display a message box showing that it's sent successfully. And in catch statement, we can catch any exception. And display the error message if any catch it. So message box that show error, just something wrong. And we can grab our exception message in our exception message. Now let's try sending this email. So let's build our project. Okay, our application is running. I will try to send to my email, which is coder.sam@outlook.com. Subject is just demo email, and message, this is a demo message from our C# application. I have this email opened here, so we can check if it's working. Actually it won't work, and we will see why this is happening. So let's send email, and as you can see the form is freezing right now while sending. This is something we gonna fix later. Okay, show us an error. It's complaining about null reference. I guess can skip this for now. Okay, let's try again. Let's hit send the email again. Something wrong, as we said. SMTP server requires a secure connection, or the client was not authenticated. And this is normally happening in Gmail after the new security updates. So I will show you how to fix this. It has two ways. First is enable less security access, and the other one is using app passwords. And let's see how this both works. But for now, we just done with setup the base SMTP and message. So to work on configuring Gmail to accept authentication, as we saw this error, we need to go to my account.google.com, and once page loaded, you can go to security tab. As you can see, If you scroll down, something called the secure app access. You can turn this on. Of course, it's not recommended by Google, but we will see a better approach after we work on this. So let's turn access on. Let's try again using our application. Okay, let's try once again. coder.sam@outlook.com, demo subject, and our message, just demo message, and send it. It says send successfully. Let's check if this is true. So as we can see here, we get a notification about new email. Let's check it. As you can see, this is the name we set here, and the subject, and the message body. So it's working, but actually this is not the better approach. So we done with configuring Gmail to accept the connections. We also successfully sent this email. We will try first to send this email async. Sending it async, it helps to make the form more responsive, so it doesn't hang out while we sending. So to do this, we need to change this. So let's remove all this code here. Let's stop the application first, and we just do a client dot send mail async, just as we send it earlier. Just we change send to send mail async, but before this we need to define our event handler when sending mail is done, so we can check for errors or something. So we set client dot send completed. I just use the double tap here after plus equal sign to automatically create the handler. Now we'll check if there is any error. So if event dot error not equal null, then we can show a message box for it. Show error happening. And also return, so we want to continue executing code if something wrong happened. Else we show a successful message. So message box would show sent successfully. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's send it to same email, coder@outlook.com. Subject is another message in async way. We are sending. Now the form is not hanging or freezing. Let's check if it's working. Yeah, we have another message in async way. Okay, we done also with sending email async. The last thing we need to learn about is authenticating our app with what's called app password. Actually, the new updates to Google Security just made a new way to authenticate your apps using a random password, not your real password. So as you can see here, we use a real password, which is not a good approach to include this in an application. So we first, to make this work, it should be appearing here, but if not, then you need to activate the two-step verifications. So let's activate this, get started, enter your email password. We can set your authentication way. So I will set as with mobile. So try now. I click yes. Okay, now it will send a confirm code to your phone number. I will put it just here and hit next. Turn on. Okay, now it's working. So let's get back. You will now see what's called app passwords. So click on it. Enter your password again. And authenticate your login. We need to create a password for our application. So we select app, hit other, and name it whatever you want. Maybe C# mail, and hit generate. It will generate a random password. So we can copy this, hit done. And now back to our code and replace the real password with a new one. We just copy it and run application again to check if it's really working. Okay, let's try again. Okay, it says sent successfully. Let's see. Yes, it's really working. And now we authenticated our app without using our original password. Of course, you can always just delete this one. If we refresh this page, you can see last used. And you can always just delete it and it will not work again. So I hope you like it and learned something new. If you like the content, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. And I really appreciate your support and help. Thank you and goodbye.